This is Awesome John 22, and I have just recently uploaded a video kind of outlining what I want to do in the future. More for my own sake, because I really haven't done any of these in a really long time. Where I promised to do some Prime figures and maybe an Ironhide series and some other stuff. I wanted to get another one up real quick. Take a look at a Prime figure, because I know there's a lot of stuff about him up online right now, and I know that's kind of what everybody's expecting to see, and I'm hoping to catch the attention of some people, get some more viewers to my channel. And since this is just going to kind of be a trial run, because I am still learning how to do this and I don't really know that much about video editing or anything like that yet, I kind of want to try doing a real review. Sorry, I'm fiddling with the figure I picked out back here behind the camera. Try a real review without trying any real video editing or anything. See how it turns out. See if I have to go find a online tutorial. My Skyrim map in the background that I'm using as a poster. How awesome is Skyrim? Completely off topic. Anyway, this is my personal favorite Prime figure, and I'm waiting to reveal it until after I explain this, because I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for it, as opinions regarding this figure are mixed, just kind of as a general rule. I don't know why I like it so much. I really love the character, and that's probably a part of it. But for the most part, I just really love this figure. There's just something about it. And that figure is RID-RC. And let the hate come. Now, I know a lot of people are saying this is a better figure than it looked like it was going to be. I know the opinions of it aren't as low as it was once thought they might be. But yeah, I know people are still going to be surprised that this is my favorite so far of the ones I have, which is a lot of them, I'll admit that. Anyway, there she is in her vehicle mode. She is a blue motorcycle that is lacking in some paint apps, which a lot of the paint apps she's missing are actually silvers and stuff, which I might go in with a silver paint pen eventually and put some in, like some silver here or something. If I do, I'll make an update video to show you what I did. For the most part, I mean, there's nothing special about it. She's a motorcycle. We see motorcycles all the time. Her kickstand works very well. I do have a version of the first edition RC mold, and I just got to say the kickstand works so much better on this figure than it did on the other one. She comes with a blade that is a mostly show-accurate representation of RC's blade that pops out of her arm. You can see it's got some good detail on it, good silver paint, akin to what should have been on Dark of the Moon Sideswipe. Dark of the Moon Sideswipe. It's considerably smaller than the first edition version. You can peg into the wheel well here. Looks kind of cool, if you can even see it. My lighting sucks. I haven't gotten my whole lighting setup back up yet. But yeah, you can kind of see it there. Much smaller than the first edition version's blade, like I said. Still not in scale with the figure, though, because this is a smaller figure than the first edition. Not really so much in vehicle mode. Their vehicle modes are actually pretty close in size, and if I knew where my New York City Comic-Con set was right now, I'd get that out and bust out New York City Comic-Con First Edition RC and show you. But it's been lost in the endless closet of disorder. But yeah, let's get to the transformation of this one, so I can try to explain why I like it so much. Start out by taking these side panels, just folding them forward as far as they'll go. Now you want to come down here and kind of pull this up and rotate the wheel. You can see this is kind of its own free moving piece now. Bring it down like so. Try not to do that. This just slides right back in here, but it can pop off and it can get annoying. I just want to warn you. Fold it back. I popped it out again. What is wrong with me today? Fold it back as far as it'll go. Fold this whole thing back as far as it'll go. Take her arms, which peg in using, there's these little tabs here. Peg into little slots on her arms. Take them out, kind of straighten them out. Both sides, of course. Now bring her legs, which is this whole undercarriage section. Pull them out, pull them down, split the legs so that the wheel splits with them. Bring the foot forward like so, and then just fold the wheel up on the inside. And some really nice silver paint on the wheel there. Just wanted to point that out. A lot of really nice silver paint all over this figure. It's just most of it shows up in robot mode. Now take this and you can clearly see her head's kind of stuck up in her chest there. And her hips are very clearly very far forward. Bring her hips back. Pops her head out. That's her revealers feature. And then just kind of adjust everything until you like what you see. And there she is in robot mode. And you can see, like I said, some good silver on her knees, silver stripes on her legs. And if you've seen the first edition, and I don't have the blue color first edition to compare, but if you've seen it, the first edition has entirely black arms, which is very inaccurate to her show model. This is much more accurate. You can see in the chest, it's kind of a cheater chest because it's not made up of anything from the vehicle mode, but it's much more show accurate. It's got these little spurs up here on her shoulders. But I mean, great light piping, as you can see there. There are some issues. These silver stripes, as nice as they are, should be kind of a metallic pink, as should these silver pieces rimming her face. And I think also the crest on her face, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I mean, obviously the RID, the budget's been cut a little bit to keep them at lower cost, just like with some of the Dark of the Moon figures. You can see huge backpack. Yes, she has a huge backpack. I understand that. I understand a lot of people hate it because it was not as big and obtrusive on the first edition. And that's perfectly fine. If that's your deal breaker, then don't buy this figure. I personally don't mind it, because even though these are much larger than they are on the show, they are in the right place. She has her weapon, which does peg into her arm. Let me try that again. Which does peg into her arm, like so. And like I said before, even though the weapon is smaller on this figure, it's still oversized because the figure itself is smaller. I really need better lighting in here. I hope you guys can see everything that's kind of going on here. If not, just let me know, and I will gladly reshoot the video with better lighting in the future. I probably will anyway. But yeah, her weapon, pretty cool. She also has a blaster, and I want to show you guys something to do with the blaster first of all. If you've seen the show, you know that her blaster kind of comes out of her arm just like everybody else's. And therefore, you know, it can't really be any longer than her arm itself. And yet they give us this really huge blaster that comes with her. It's literally, you know, like yay big in comparison to the figure. Huge. She can't really hold it up. Doesn't look any good. So what I did is I took that really huge blaster and I cut out a section from the middle, essentially cut off the handle from the back, cut off the front, reattached it, and created this. Oops, sorry, RC. There's the barrel of the blaster, which is actually pretty show accurate. Made a shortened version of it. This is the piece I removed. That's how big it was. How much excessive plastic was there. And this is still a little too big to be scaled with this figure, but it looks a lot nicer in her hand. I personally would not recommend trying this. It was a pain in the butt. But it has this kind of embedded peg that they've been putting on a lot of the Prime figures, so that when you put it into her hand, it looks like it's coming out of her hand because it kind of fits over it. I like that. And she's got a great little smirk on her face, if you can see that. Probably can't. Great little smirk on her face. Plenty of attitude. Kind of put her hand on her shoulder, her hand on her hip there. You know, I'm gonna go kill some Decepticons kind of thing, you know. And while her backpack does take up some space on the shelf and all that jazz, it doesn't really make her all that back heavy, because she's got these really big feet with these kind of impromptu heel spurs. No real stability problems that I've run into. Overall, I just think she's a really nice representation of the character. Let me try something. Really nice representation of the character as she appears in the series, and a really great budget alternative to the first edition, which I can't find at a price that I would consider acceptable. And I pay crap too much money for figures sometimes. I mean, the more show accurate looking chest and the more show accurate positioning of these wing bits, I think, is really what sells me on the design of this figure over the other one. I just wish they could have done something better with the giant backpack that accompanies the wing bits. And, you know, they had given us maybe 2 blades instead of a blade and the crappy cannon. But yeah, she's pretty small. She's closer to scout size than deluxe size. And if I hadn't, I'm trying to do some reorganizing my room, and I've got a lot of the figures that were in this room packed up right now. If I didn't, I would show you some size comparisons. Next time, definitely, I will actually try to use her as a size comparison for the next figure I decide to do, so you can see how big she is compared to something else, and hopefully something else that I also use as a size comparison in that video. Not sure who I want to do next, since I've got a few Prime figures on standby once I unpack them again. Maybe I've got a couple of first editions. I might do one of those. You know what? First edition Starscream came in the mail a couple days ago. Let's just do him next. Let's just say next review is first edition Starscream. And this is AJ22 saying, you know, come back and look at more videos. Because, yeah.